Hey, it's been a while since I've uploaded. Funnily enough, when I left, the channel was actually doing the best it ever had, and then I kind of just disappeared, which is kind of odd for someone who's doing so great. However, life kind of happened, priorities shifted. You know how that stuff goes. But instead of turning this like into a 2-year update, I'd rather talk about a game that I've been hooked on for years, which is Project Zomboid. I've played it for a long time, even made a few mods for it, as you can see on screen. And honestly, I don't think it's just one of my favorite zombie survival horror games. I'd argue that it's the zombie survival horror game. Now, I know that might sound controversial because there are plenty of zombie games out there. For instance, Left 4 Dead, Dying Light, State of Decay 2, Days Gone, 7 Days to Die, except 7 Days to Die. I wouldn't say it's great because it's totally not been an alpha for 10 years. Um, and I like those too, but don't get me wrong. In fact, Days Gone is totally not one of my favorite zombie games, but we don't have to talk about that. The thing is, all of those games kind of make you feel like the hero, except 7 Days to Die. Zomboid doesn't do that. It does not care about you, like one bit at all. It kind of makes you just feel like you're another human being, and every mistake feels permanent, and to the point where you might just restart your entire game just of one mistake. It's brutal, it's unforgiving, and it exceeds in ways that other zombie games cannot perform. And before the actually Lance crowd shows up, I know it's still in development and everybody's waiting for build 42. I wouldn't say that makes it weaker as a game. If anything, it makes it more impressive that it's even in its current state. It outshines so many finished games. So today I kind of want to break down why Project Zomboid is more than just another zombie game. It's the ultimate survival horror sandbox. I have a couple of points that I want to cover. The first, I would say, is the main one, which is one mistake can cost you everything, and Project Zomboid won't forgive you for it. For example, leaving the stove running, or forgetting to turn off your watch alarm, or neglecting to barricade a window 3 nights ago that you said you was going to do but never did. I mean, even to fail to leave yourself a proper escape route if a horde shows up. All of it can just be snatched away from you without a blink in the eye, I would say. I have a clip here that proves it, which is me on Twitch a couple years back, heading to another city with me in the Humvee, and you can see what happens. Oh my... You know what? Fuck it, I'm just gonna go through it. Never mind, the engine stopped and I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. This is a great game!
I ran a punch over for you.
I'm dead. I'm dead. As you can see in the video, I decided to drive through the zombie horde with a super damaged engine, and then it stopped, and I accidentally pressed E and got out of the vehicle, then proceeded to get eaten alive over my small mistake. So all those XP benefits that I had and whatnot went straight into the trash, as well as 23 hours of gameplay because at the time the server was set to 1-hour day cycles. So you kind of have to ask yourself, what I'm doing the right move, or am I about to die? And I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. I mean, I'm a scared baby when it comes to horror. My friends will definitely tell you that themselves. I mean, because I've played Escape from Tarkov, and I'll get scared from, an AI screaming some Russian across the room, But Zomboid's tension and the constant threat kind of just keeps you on your toes the entire time. You just can't run from your problems like every other game, or every other zombie game, excuse me. There's no safety net. There's just death. Speaking of death, that brings me to my second point. In this game, there's no escaping it. At some point, you're gonna die. Now, holy shit, that sounds absolutely morbid and dark. But that's kind of the point, Project Zomboid is all about surviving until you can't anymore. I mean, sure, you can make things harder with the settings and, changing how the zombies react to you and all that sort of stuff. Or, messing around with, like, sort of weird scenarios for yourself. I mean, some players start with no clothes, no gear, traits stacked against them, like death or blind. Note that blind is a workshop mod. But hey, that's more power to them. But me, I'm not stripping naked with a susceptible trait and calling that a playthrough. That's basically rolling out a red carpet for death with candles lining the walkway. It's just not going to happen for me because I'm not doing it. I mean, and there are so many ways to go out. Starving because you ate the last rat and you can't eat anything else, or accidentally setting yourself on fire with a Molotov or a campfire, or being like me and pressing E and hopping out of a car in the middle of a horde. I mean, the list goes on. And in a way, you don't just die randomly. You are the one choosing how you go out. You just don't realize it yet. I think Project Zomboid comes together as the ultimate sandbox zombie horror game because it's your story, it's your mistakes, and it's your ending. Other zombie games might be scripted or open, but they're still guided. Zomboid? No. It's completely different. You decide who you want to be. If you want to be a farmer or a carpenter or even a pyromaniac who just wants to watch the world burn down.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Just try not to burn yourself in the process. Now, if you want to, by all means, I'm not going to stop you. But, I mean, just trying to give you some advice to survive. But here's the thing. I mean, you are going to have to survive. If you're playing solo, you basically need to be a jack of all trades to stay alive. Because when food runs out, what then? If you can't farm, you starve. If you can't fight, you're dead. If you can't barricade a wall or a window, guess what? A horde just will come through no matter what. And I think that's what makes every run unique, because it never gets boring, because you can always push yourself with new challenges or new goals or new scenarios that you want to come up with in your head with your imagination. So there's no scripted story to follow. You kind of just make your own and you set your own goals. And for me, that's exactly what I love in a game. And Zomboid, it nails it perfectly. Lastly, I've got to mention the workshop, because Project Zomboid is pretty huge with it. So it's got a massive collection of mods that can completely change the way you play. And I know I said that about the Bear of Trauma video, which is fair. However, the workshop lets you add new goals, new challenges, or even new ways to survive, from stupid, simple quality of life stuff to full-blown overhauls like the Brita's mod pack or the Brita's weapon pack, or a susceptible trait that I was talking about earlier. Honestly, so I think the replayability of the game is insane. So if you're a fan of the base game, you'll be an even bigger fan once you dive into the mods. And I know I am, because after I've started using them, I can't stop using them. So, and with that, I think this video comes to a close on why Project Zomboid is the ultimate zombie survival sandbox experience. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again soon. And don't worry, this will not be another 2-year hiatus like a Corey Kenshin break or something like that.